Hey guys, I am hanging out at Everglades Outpost. Look at this, guys. We are feeding wolves right now. I'm hanging out with Martha.
Hi, guys.
And these wolves are about a year old.
Yep, they're about a year old. These are gray wolves, even though they are colored black.
Yeah, so what's the deal? Okay. These guys, and he's looking for food. He's looking for food right now.
Yes, she knows that there's food
These
in
guys
here.
are gray wolves, but they're black. How does that happen?
So they come in different colors. This is what you would call the black phase.
The black phase.
Yep,
are
black
they going to
phase
get more?
wolves.
Will they get more gray? Or?
Some of them do. We have a one wolf here named Rocco that actually was all black like this and is now all gray, almost white colored.
Okay.
So
or
we're not taking the cooler off.
look at this. Oh no, they're taking the cooler.
She knows there's food in there.
All right. So tell us about these guys. Where do they come from, and what's their story? Because all the animals at Everglades Outpost, guys, are rescues.
So these are all rescues. They were actually brought in from a different facility, and they're all girls. All right. Give me a second. I'll get you some food.
And they're very eager. They're very eager to get food. You can see right here. They know the food. We better watch out.
There you go.
Oh wow.
Here. Perfect. So they're about a year old. Like I said, they're all females. We have Aria here. This is Raven, who's the shyest girl in the world. And then Frady's her sister. And they are siblings. And they are displayed as educational ambassadors for their species. Go.
There you go.
Good job.
There you go.
Growing up, you often read about the big bad wolf in Little Red Riding Hood or the Three Little Pigs, but we want to educate people and have them understand that wolves are not bad. They are misunderstood animals that we need to learn to coexist with. Now in Florida, we don't have any native species of wolves left. They were driven out at the turn of the century. However, there is a growing number of wolf hybrids, which is what these girls are.
These guys they're not 100% wolf.
No, they're high content wolves. So meaning they're 60+% wolf.
Oh no, these guys!
Oh, they figured it out.
Look at it! Whoa! All right, I'm gonna get you another piece. Hey, chill.
So now, an adult male wolf can bite down with double the bite pressure of a German Shepherd. So normally German Shepherds bite down with about 700 psi. They will bite down with about 1,000 psi to 1,200 psi.
So that's a pretty strong bite force.
Yeah, pretty strong bite force. And what's really cool is they actually don't walk on their pads like this. They walk on their tippy toes, and that helps them when they're turning or trying to run faster. They also have multiple scent glands in their body, so they rub a lot as well. We do try to build a very deep bond with them. Oh, okay. How'd that work out for you? We do try to build a really deep bond with them. These are animals that for various reasons cannot be returned to the wild. They're not native to Florida. They were born under human care, so they have to remain under human care. So we do get them we do build a relationship with them as close as we can.
You're gonna get food if you actually let me.
They are used to us touching their ears, even though now she's excited about food and that's what she's interested in. Let's see, we can touch her ears. I can check the inside of her mouth.
Yeah, they're pretty friendly.
Yep.
Whoa.
And that's because if we have to medicate them for any reason, we want to have a relationship where this animal isn't going to be stressed out. We can medicate them the same way we're medicating animals at home. Now this is after, again, a year of having them here and a year of working with them.
And they're riled up right now because we're trying to feed them. Yeah, so guys, they see food right now, so they're pretty riled up. This is about, oh, look at that jumps. Man, they got some ups.
Yeah.
You got some ups.
Yep. And like I said, they're only about a year old, so they still have some growing to do.
Now, in the wild, what's their primary diet going to be?
So it depends on where they're at. You have some wolf species that their diet is primarily fish because of where they're situated at. But normally, small prey, wolves will go after larger prey as well. If the pack is strong enough, if it's large enough, if it's a singular wolf for whatever reason, they are going to tend to stay more small prey. So in the wild, they have a variety of different foods that they would eat depending on where they're located. There's a species of wolves whose diet is primarily that of fish. They're located more towards the sea, obviously. And then there's others that their diet is primarily small prey, such as rabbits, birds that they can catch. Whereas in other areas like Yellowstone, they're going after larger prey like deer and things like that. So it's basically on their locality and what they're eating in that area.
So wolves used to be across the entire country.
Yes.
But now you only see them in a few places, like national parks, like Yellowstone and places like that. And even those places, they've kind of a little bit restocked.
They have been, correct.
Because they kind of get a bad rap where, hey, they might take your livestock,
Right.
People are worried about they might take your kid because they can be dangerous at times.
Actually, so there aren't really any documented cases here in the United States of wolves
Wolf
attacking
attacks.
people. And then if there are any, it's really more in cases of where either the human has cornered this wolf,
And
the
they're in a
wolf is
defensive mode.
injured, right? Or the wolf is injured, and again we go back to an injured wolf who's afraid for their life, a sick wolf perhaps, cases like that.
Well, they can get things like rabies, right?
Right, but a healthy
But that's
wolf,
not a healthy wolf. That's a
No.
wolf that's acting under
Correct.
a disease operating on its mind.
right? But a healthy wolf is shy. They want nothing to do with humans. Even when these guys first arrived, we worked a lot with them to ensure that we built a relationship with them because we want to have the best relationship possible for medicating, for deworming, ensuring their ears stay nice and healthy, because they can't be returned to the wild since they were born in captivity. They have to be under human care. So a healthy wolf in the wild does not want to go after a human. It wants nothing to do with
It's
humans.
going to run away. It's going to
Yeah.
be more shy.
And it might go after livestock, but it doesn't understand that livestock isn't their food.
Yeah, there's no distinction in their mind that, hey, this is owned
Right.
by somebody.
Yep.
And this is going to be,
Correct. Humans are the ones that have to learn how to get along with the animals that they've invaded their land. They were there first. So we need to learn to get along with them.
So how long do these guys live?
So we actually have a wolf here that's 16 years old.
16 years old.
So under human care, of course, they do live longer than out in the wild because they're getting regular food, vet visits, dewormers. If there's an injury for any reason, it gets treated. Whereas in the wild, obviously, it's very different. Now, in the wild, they can live anywhere between 10 to 12 years. But here we have, like I said, a 16-year-old wolf who's very healthy.
So in the wild, they're going to hunt in packs.
Yes.
They're going to be social animals.
Yes.
And they're kind of going to think in a group, right?
They do think in groups. They do live in groups. They're highly social animals. So the recent research, or not that recent actually, research has shown the same scientists that came up with the concept of the alpha and the more dominant wolf actually debunked it themselves. They now don't believe that there is an alpha wolf. What they believe it's just the two breeders, meaning male and female breeder, that lead the pack, and they're the ones that breed primarily with each other. They will stay within their pack.
But they're not an alpha.
No, it's not considered alphas anymore. It's just considered breeders. It's
Okay.
the male and female breeders. Alpha seems to indicate that they will usually fight to get to that position.
Okay.
Whereas most packs are formed, again, by just a female and a male that came together and bred
And it's all
formed
the
pack.
kids.
Yep, exactly.
So basically, it's more like the parents.
So he devised the alpha idea based on a study of like captive wolves, and when they started to do research into wild wolves and realizing how the wolf packs work in the wild,
Oh, so
it's different.
some of the packs there, I mean, these wolves weren't born together, right?
Right,
They
so it
put
is
together.
different.
So they're going to test each other. They're going to try to
Right.
select an alpha and like a kind of competitive behavior where they're going out, who's going to lead this pack because there's no one else there. It's like, there's a job opening, right?
Right.
It's a job opening. I want to be the boss, and here's why,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
But in the wild, it's going to be more.
It's different. It's different because they have more land to roam. They have different bloodlines. So that's where that theory came from, and that's why the same scientist debunked it himself. But they do hunt in social groups. They do live in social groups. Usually it's the males that will tend to find their own territory, and the younger females at times, depending on how large the wolf pack is. Wolf packs can be anywhere from 3 to 4 individual wolves. They've observed wolf packs up to as many like 15 wolves.
15 wolves. That's a lot of wolves.
Yeah. Yep. So, and it's an incredible hierarchy. They're very, very social with one another.
So these wolves right here, obviously pretty friendly.
Yes.
Obviously pretty friendly.
Yes.
And you're saying that in the wild they tend to be more shy,
They're
not
very
likely
shy.
to chase after a
No.
person. But if for some reason a wolf did, if you do come across a wolf in the wild, first of all, give it its space.
Give it its space. These wolves aren't going to want to chase after you, again, unless you're doing something that they feel is endangering their lives. They're going to defend themselves the way any
Other animal would,
including
yeah.
humans, would do. Give them their space, they'll move on. They don't want anything to do with you. If you're out hunting, keep in mind the times during which they hunt. They're looking for food the same way we're looking for food. So if you're out hunting, you got to keep in mind when they're hunting, the times that they would normally be found. Look into the areas that you're hunting. Have there been any wolf sightings or anything like that?
Yeah.
If people just put a little bit more effort into understanding the behavior of the animals in their area, a lot of the instances that occur could be avoided. We have to share with them. It's one planet.
Thank you so much, Martha, for showing us these awesome wolves.
You're
And
very
guys, if you
welcome.
want to go check out Everglades Outpost, we're in Homestead, Florida, which is kind of in between Miami and the Florida Keys. You can actually go out and follow Everglades Outpost on Facebook too, and I'll also put a little link where you guys can go ahead and find them. And thank you so much.
You're very welcome anytime.
Awesome.